Hello everyone, my name is Chef Fez from Norris, Colorado, and today I'm going to show you how to use a chef's knives like a professional. The first thing we need to talk about is knife safety, and it all begins with where do we keep our knives, so where do we store them? There's a couple options. We can keep them in a drawer where you keep all of your sharp objects. You can put them on a wall, in those magnets, or even a speed rack. Whatever you do, wherever you keep your knives, just make sure that you wash and sanitize those areas regularly. When you go get your knife and it's time to go to our station, how do we walk around the kitchen with our knife? Do we walk like this with a knife? No. Or do we put our knife right here and keep it safe? No, this is so dangerous. The proper way of walking with a knife, we grab it by the handle, we point it down with the sharp end away from us, and as we're walking around the kitchen, we always want to use our kitchen voice. So tell people, let them know that you got a knife. Sharp knife behind you. It is not a secret. Let people know that you have a knife. When you come to your station and it's time to work, make sure that you're always cutting on a plastic cutting board, all right? Never cut directly on the metal because you're gonna ruin your knife. When it's time to work and you're working with your colleagues and it's really fun and everything, and my friend Chef Jessica wants to borrow my knife, it is okay, she can borrow my knife, but is this the proper way of passing a knife? No. How about like this? The safest way of passing a knife is you're gonna set it down on your prep table and let them pick it up and walk away. When they're done with it and they're gonna bring it back and return it, she's gonna put it on my cutting board. Thank you, Chef Jess. And make sure that you give it a nice sanitizer wipe, all right? So grab your sanitizer, put it on your hand, put your knife on it or with the sharp end away from you, and just run your blade with the towel, and that's how you're gonna sanitize your knife. If for some reason your knife is gonna fall, always let it fall. Don't ever catch a falling knife. You wanna just take a step back, let it fall, never catch a falling knife. On that end, what's gonna help you too is your shoes. So make sure that you wear closed-toe shoes and that they are slip resistant, okay? When we are finished for the day with the knife and it's time to go wash it, it is crucial that we never drop it in a sink full of water and walk away because somebody can reach in there and cut themselves. We always recommend washing them by hand, okay? And they're gonna last longer. And remember, the safest knife is a sharp knife, so keep those knives sharp. And now that we know all about knife safety, it is time to learn the parts of the knife. This is our chef's knife, and this back part right here is the handle. All of this black part of the knife is the handle. This is where we grip our knife, how we hold it. If you move just a little further, we have the bolster. And the bolster is what's gonna give us the stability and the balance of the knife. If we keep going forward, this right here is the spine. We all have one. This is the spine of the knife. And if we move just a little further to the end, this end right here is the tip. As we move down, this right here is the sharp end. This is what cuts the product, and it's called the cutting edge. As we move to this corner over here, this is the heel, and the heel works in conjunction with the bolster and gives us that nice force to cut through something really dense and thick. And this whole part over here is the blade. The next thing we need to learn about is our stance. It is crucial that we have a proper stance to take care of our bodies because we're going to be standing in our right in front of our cutting station for quite a few hours. So we need to really have a good posture, a good stance, so that we take care of our bodies, all right? And it all begins, come as close as you possibly can to your prep table. Don't be leaning against it, but come really close to it. Open up your legs a little bit and bend your knees. Relax. That is the crucial thing in this posture, in this stance. You need to be relaxed, find your stance, bend your knees. Pretend that you're riding a horse, okay? David, I know you like riding horses. What's your favorite horse's name?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon! We are all riding Cinnamon. Pretend we are riding Cinnamon. We are nice and comfortable. So come back to your prep station and stack up your shoulders over your hips. And let's talk about this hand. With one, you're gonna be holding your knife, and with the other, you're gonna be holding your product, all right? So when you do that, you kinda are gonna have a triangle, and we're gonna be keeping all of our energy within this triangle. So make sure, again, you are relaxed and you have a nice position in front of your cutting board, and keep your triangle, your energy within. Alright, the next thing we need to talk about is the proper grip, or how are we going to hold the knives the proper way. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that are totally okay to grip your knife. What you want to do is wrap your hand around the handle, and this is totally okay. Notice where my thumb and my index finger are. We are completely wrapping the handle, and this is going to allow me to move the knife where I want it to go. Okay? The other grip that I want to show you today, and for a lot of people it might be new. It may feel a little different, but just like everything, the first time we try it, it's different, but the more we do it, it's just going to feel more natural. I want you to choke it up as much as you can, and as you move forward, your middle finger will stop by the heel. It's not going to let it go any further. And then we're going to pinch the blade right in the middle with our index and our thumb finger over here. So I'm really choking it all the way up. I'm pinching in the middle. Notice I'm not pinching down here because this is not great. Pinch right in the middle so we are away from the cutting edge, and this is another proper grip. This is what I like. It gives me 100% control of the knife, but I want you to find your own grip. I want you to feel comfortable and in control of the knife. That is the most important thing. You are in control of the knife. The other thing that I don't want you to do is the inchworm. And what is the inchworm? That is when we use our knife and we put the index finger on the spine. And this is not a good thing to do, and I'll show you why. I want you to put your hand up, the one that holds the knife, and make a fist. Release the index finger. With the other hand, I want you to make a peace sign, peace and love, and just bring it over here. And just go up and down, up and down. You should feel right here some tendons, some nerves. So the more you put your finger right here, you are using extra nerves, extra tendons. All the work that we do, because we do it for a couple hours, repetitive motion, is going to lead to injury. How do we avoid it? We go from inch to pinch. Whatever grip you want to do, just make sure that we don't put our index finger right here, and we're going to keep our wrist safe. The other thing I don't want you to do is be the swashbuckler. And what is the swashbuckler? You know, that person that throws the onion in the air and then they go, this is how I slice my onion. Not a very safe way to do. I want you to really be respectful to the knife and treat it properly. The other thing you shouldn't be doing is pointing, talking with the knife and saying, hey, you over there, hey, can you please? Don't. This is not for pointing or talking. All right? Make sure that we keep our knives safe. Now, let's talk about the other hand, and this hand is called the guide hand, and it's the one that is going to hold the product and stabilize it, okay? In order for us to make a nice guide hand, I'm going to show you how to do it by making a claw. We are in Colorado, we have a lot of bears, so I want you to pretend you are an angry bear. Papa, mama bear, you know, like I'm going to touch your cuts, and you're like, get away. Urgh. So make a really angry, mean claw, and bring it down 90 degrees, and towards your belly. If you notice, your elbow will stick out just a little bit, not too much because you're gonna hurt your back. So make sure you keep your stance and make your angry claw down towards your belly and only stick your elbow out just a bit, okay? When you're looking down, you should only see a wall between your first and second knuckle, all right? You should not be able to see your fingernails or your fingertips, because if you do, they might be gone. So tuck them in. I don't want you to see your fingernails when you look down. This guy, we're gonna give him a break and hide him right underneath our hands. So when we're looking down, all we see is that wall of knuckles that I told you. That's all you wanna see. Depending on what you're holding, the claw may be a little tighter, or if you're holding a little bigger product, you might open it a little more. Big thing is that when you look down, you don't see your fingernails, all right? Because you're gonna keep them safe by tucking them in. And we're gonna be putting just a little pressure on our product. And as we're cutting and we're progressing, we're just gonna be pushing very gently the product forward. And that's how we keep our guide hand safe. Make an angry claw. So now it's time to put everything together and talk about the movement of the knife. Let's recap real quick. Let's find our stance, our proper position. Let's grab our knife, find our grip. Let's make our claw. I have my triangle. Remember the triangle from the beginning. Now that I have this, let's talk about how the knife is gonna move. There's always contact between the knife and the cutting board. They never stop touching. And what we're gonna be doing is always begin with your tip in the front. We're gonna lift the handle just a little bit. This is way too much, and I'm exaggerating just to show you. You only wanna lift up your knife just a little bit, okay? When you hold your knife the proper way, the knife should just feel like an extension of your arm, okay? We're gonna lift up the handle, we're gonna drag it back just a bit, and as soon as we touch the product we wanna cut, we go forward and down. And then we lift up again, we drag it back, and we go forward and down. And this is the movement of the knife. If it helps you remember it, think of a rocking chair. It's an up and down movement, all right? And if you notice again, if you can see my knife and the cutting board, they never stop touching. There's always contact between the knife and the cutting board. And as we're doing that, what noises do you hear? You should not hear much, maybe like a nice settled whoosh, whoosh. That's the noise you want to hear. If for some reason you're hearing, you need to stop that person and retrain them because they're not using the knife properly and they're gonna ruin your cutting edge. So again, we begin in the front, lift the handle just a bit, drag it back, and we go forward and down, forward and down. Try to avoid cutting towards you because if you're cutting towards you, your belly is right here, not very safe. So stop as soon as you touch the product and go forward and down.